In today's video I'll talk about how we can really be there for our friends and the people close to us when they need us and need emotional support and have issues in their lives. Because while we think that we all are good friends, or at least we all want to be good friends and be there for each other and help each other out, very often when someone is upset or going through something emotionally very tough and challenging, and they actually have the courage to reach out to us and be vulnerable and put themselves in a vulnerable position of asking for our advice, asking for our help, what happens is that instead of helping them, we'll end up making them feel worse, making them feel lonely. An example of this could be a friend of us reaching out to us, telling us, you know, I'm going through a really hard time and I think it's because my parents are getting a divorce. And as a response, what we're telling them is, you shouldn't feel bad about it. People go through divorces every day, it's so common nowadays. And now they'll feel that they shouldn't be experiencing what they're experiencing. They'll feel rejected, they feel misunderstood, and they're judging themselves for being so emotional and so upset about something that they shouldn't feel that way about. Or it could be in the same situation that we're responding instead with sympathy and victimizing them by saying, "Oh, is that so? I feel so bad for you, that must be so tough. Oh, you must be really, really sad about it." Which leads them to feel so fucking small that they have no way of dealing with their emotions, with their problems, because they feel like they're so incapable of being strong, because we make them feel so small and so hurt and feel so bad by making them into a victim, by victimizing them. Now, there could be a lot of reasons why we would do that to someone that we care about, even though we might have the best intentions. Maybe we just don't know any better. Maybe we could just think that if we tell them to feel better and be happy, they'll actually experience that. But then, when was the last time someone told you to be happy and you genuinely felt happy? When was the last time someone told you, don't worry, and you actually stopped worrying as a result of that? Or maybe it's because that we get so uncomfortable by being in that sadness, by experiencing that sadness that they're experiencing, that we want to get rid of it as fast as possible. Or maybe it's because that issue that they're bringing up is an issue that we're experiencing that we're not dealing with. And so if we are talking with them about it, we have to face it, and we don't want to face it. And so we brush it off easily to avoid having to face our inner demons. Maybe it's because we're going through a shitty time ourselves, and because of that we don't have the emotional strength to be there for them. Regardless of what the reason is, the result is very often that now not only are they dealing with their problems, but on top of that they feel disconnected. On top of that they feel lonely, and maybe even rejected. Maybe they feel like they're stupid and not worthy. So the way that we can really help them is listening with an intention of understanding them, understanding the things that they are going through, and understanding the problem that they're facing, instead of listening with an intention to quickly make them feel better, to quickly solve the problem that they're experiencing. And the reason that's challenging is that we have to step out of our own perspective, which can be really, really hard to do, and step into their perspective, seeing things from their point of view instead of from our own. And when we get to the point where we fully understand what they're going through, fully understand why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, and we can express that to them, what we'll find is that very, very often we don't need to fix any issues, because simply by making them feel understood, we're giving them so much. We're making them feel accepted, and when we're making them feel accepted, we're making them feel loved on a very profound level. And when we feel loved on a profound level, we feel abundant. And finally, when we're in a space of abundance, every issue that we're facing, every problem that we're going through is so much smaller, because we feel so higher, we feel so stronger, we feel so more alive and so much more powerful. And so when we get in that state of abundance, we'll be able to solve our issues so much faster. And so often we don't even need any advice. But from that space, we can actually solve our issues on our own. And furthermore, if we're able to make someone feel that way, if we're able to make someone feel completely understood and accepted, they'll love us so much, they'll be so happy for us. Because that feeling is something that every one of us craves so much, and yet we get to experience so rarely. Which is one of the reasons why people are so willing to pay therapists so much money. Because very often a therapist's job is to simply understand what they're going through and listen with an intention of making them feel understood. And that is just so profound and so powerful that it can move mountains. Now that doesn't mean that we should encourage them when they victimize themselves, or encourage their anger and hatred towards someone else that they think did them wrong. But what it means is that we should simply try to understand why they're experiencing what they're experiencing. And when we understand them, we're able to actually give them a sincere, genuine advice that might help them. And they're able to actually take it in. You know, a couple of years ago, I was in charge of customer service in a small company. And I recently spoke with my boss, who told me that more than a year after I left, the customers would still message them asking about me, asking if I could help them. And I was only working there for 3 or 4 months. Now the reason they would do that is because I genuinely tried to understand them and what would be best for them, instead of just quickly trying to solve their problems by looking at it through my own lens, looking at it through my own perspective, and quickly get the sale. That's how big an impact it has on people when we genuinely care for them. That doesn't happen very often. And so if you can be that person in someone's life, that is incredible and impactful and powerful. And we get to genuinely feel good about ourselves because we'll really make a difference for that person. And of course, in some situations, our friends just need someone who doesn't take it too serious, who can crack a joke at them and make fun of them and lift up their spirits that way, and just give them some kind words of encouragement. But other times, they're really going through something tough. If you can be that person who really tries to understand them, you can help them in a much more profound way. So I hope this video helps you be there for someone you know, and helps you connect even deeper with the friends that you care about. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, please do subscribe, and remember to stay true to you.